Alright, I got the other tip worked on a little bit smaller than this one. So what it is, I took measurements off that other tip, transferred them on here, and put a line. So now I'll take this tip down to match the other one, and then I'll work on the handle a bit, and then I think I'll start working on thinking about some overlays so I can get a string on here and start tillering. So that's my next step. Get this down to the same shape as the other one, match those up, reduce that handle, and then tip it. Okay, starting to work on this handle a little bit. It's still way too thick this way. So what I did is I took my pencil and I made a mark right here where I think I'm going to start getting closer to where I want to be eventually. And I took the rasp here and I took it off this angle. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this line and make the same line on this side. Come at it this way, take off this side, take off the top, and reduce it a little closer to where I want to be. This is the top right here, and I like to make a groove where my hand fits in the handle and it gets comfortable. So eventually I'll take a little bit more out right around this area here. Still have to flatten out the back of the bow too, so I'm going to start thinking about doing that. Rounding off the corners, I mean. So that's what I'm doing next, is I'm going to reduce this handle and get a little closer to the final dimensions. Alright, I'm going to start working on that little low area here in my handle. What I like to use for that is this little four-sided rasp. They got really, really nice. It has a couple rough sides, couple less rough sides. I like because it's got a curved side, and that's what I'll be using in here to take this down a little bit. Great tool. And here I'm just trying to get the rough shape. I'm not at the final dimensions yet. I'll go by feel there to see where I need to be later. This just gets me in the right direction. I'm putting this groove right before the fades. I don't have any arrow rests on my bows. Earlier I said, in one of the videos, I said this is where the arrow rest is going to be. What I meant is this is the top of the grip, where the top of the shooter's hand is going to be. So since it's ambidextrous bow, I want to make everything just even through here. I don't want to make it, a righty or a lefty. So I'll just concentrate on making everything even, and make it easy for either to shoot off either side of the bow. Okay, now I'm going to use this finer side of the Nicholson rasp to take these side dimensions down a little bit before I scrape it, before I round over the edges with the scraper. So first I'll do this side, and then I'll flip it over to the other side. I already have lines on there. What I'm doing is just erasing these lines that I previously had. I went up to the lines before, so now I'll just take them off, then I'll round it, and then I should be able to blend these fades in better after I get this middle part of the handle down to final dimensions. Alright, now that I got the handle, I mean, it's still huge and everything, but before I can really see how big I want this back to be, I have to have this front sort of, pretty close to finished dimensions. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my Red Devil scraper here, just a regular paint scraper you can find at Fleet Farm or Menards or wherever, and I like it because it's just a one-hand scraper. I can hold the bowl with one hand, and I can scrape with the other hand, instead of those cabinet scrapers, you have to use two hands to do it, and it's not real convenient. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to bring this handle back, and every time you scrape, you can see little flakes coming off. I don't know if you can see that or not. But I'm going to round off these corners, and while I'm at it, I'm just going to go through and round off all the corners on the back of these limbs. It has to be done eventually, so I might as well just get it done now since the back is pretty much finished. So yeah, that's what I'm doing now, is I'll round off all these edges, and then I'll start working on these final dimensions more. I started rounding this back edge over this back handleage over with the scraper, but it's going pretty slow. So I'm going to take the fine edge of my Nicholson here and just use this to round it over a bit, flip it over to the other side. Then I'll come up and take my scraper and finish it off with my scraper. With this Osage, as soon as you scrape it, it shines like you just got done sanding with like 400 grit paper. So it looks really nice and finished when you're done. So, like I said, I'll round this edge over, round this other edge over, flip it over, get that back into shape. I'm getting close, and then I'll probably do some overlays. Okay, here's how it's turning out. Got a little gripping area right there. Got it even so it could be a right or left-handed bow. I took the scraper and I rounded off all the corners on the belly side and the back side, just to kind of show me where I'm at as far as thickness goes. I didn't touch the tips yet because I plan on putting overlays on there. And what I'll do is I'll put overlays on that are much wider than this tip, and then I'll sand them down to get the final shape and thickness there. But that's what I used to do the handle. Took me about an hour, I think. And that's pretty much what I'm gonna have. I might thin some areas down as I tiller, see if because I could always get just this much more limb bending if I needed to. But there it is. Now I can put those overlays on and then I can think about the string in it. Long string anyway.